Curry sat down with Draymond Green for a new episode of the Draymond Green Show, appropriately named. The two discussed where the KD-era Warriors rank among the greatest teams of all time. Take a listen to this.
To be quite frank with you, I still think we had best team ever. Although we didn't finish it and win a championship, I still think that was the best team ever until 2017.
I was about to say, where are we going with that? Because that team was nice.
Until 2017. And then I think that team took over as the greatest team ever. So I think we still accomplished it. Best team ever. But not quite, people take numbers and they want to put the numbers there and say, oh, well, the Bulls had 72 wins.
Feeling, bro.
Like, exactly. We were the best team ever. I don't care what no one said. I can't see anyone beating that 2017 team. Not even our first, the 15, 16. I can't see anyone beating that 2017 team.
They say in the medical field, I concur.
Best team ever. Nick, you're fired up about this topic in the morning meeting today. You agree or disagree with Draymond?
Oh, I agree with him with one slight asterisk, and the asterisk is there is one other team that has an argument because that other team did what the 2017 Warriors did. So I don't know where Broussard and Wilds fall on this, but Brew, as part of my 50 greatest players of the last 50 years series that you guys have been a part of, I've kind of been diving into a lot of the NBA history from 1970 to now. And I would just like to, so some of the greatest teams ever are, for example, the 72 Lakers. So what if the 72 Lakers, that offseason, Brew, added Rick Barry, who was one of the 3 or 4 best players in the league? Then the 73 Lakers would be the greatest team ever. What if the 86 Celtics, one of the greatest teams ever, that offseason added Akeem Olajuwon, a guy that was one of the 3 or 4 best teams ever? Then everyone would be like, oh yeah, that's the greatest team we've ever seen. Or if the 96 Bulls, who Draymond referenced, that offseason going in 97 added Shaquille O'Neal, then yeah, they're probably the best team ever. Well, 2 teams literally did that. 2 teams in NBA history had a league MVP, had either a championship in their pocket already or multiple finals appearances in their pocket already, and added a guy who had just won league MVP. The 83 Sixers and the 2017 Warriors. Those are the 2 greatest teams ever, and there is no debate. And by the way, Brew, they both have the resumes that speak to it. They both won at least 65 games, and come the postseason, they both kicked everybody's teeth in. Moses said the Sixers, who was their version of adding Kevin Durant, were going to go faux through the playoffs. They went faux through the playoffs. They went 12-1. And the Warriors went 4-5 because there was the extra round. They won their first 15 playoff games for the Cavs got game 4. Those are the 2 greatest teams ever. I happen to think the 2017 Warriors are better than the 83 Sixers, but I'll listen to the argument. But I don't think any other team deserves to be in the room for the discussion of the greatest teams ever. It's those 2 teams, and it's just logically speaking, they were already championship caliber. They already had a league MVP in his prime, and they added another league MVP in his prime.
Good history, Nick. Real talk. That was good. Let me address quickly the 72 Lakers. I wouldn't say they're the best ever, or in the discussion, they had obviously a tremendous lineup, but half the best players in the world at that time were in the ABA, including Dr. J. So
sure.
I have to take them out of that. Then with the Sixers, I'm glad you mentioned them, because for a long time, I have thought that they were arguably the best team ever with Dr. J and Moses Malone. But I'm going to go, not surprisingly, with the Chicago Bulls of 1996, Michael Jordan and the Bulls.
God.
And I'm going to try to look at this objectively. I'm going to try to look at this objectively. All right, I'm the facts over feelings guy. And here's the facts.
True.
They had the best regular season ever, 72 wins. That year, they had the number 1 defense, the number 1 offense and the number 1 defense in the league. Let's compare them to the 2017 Warriors, who had the number 1 offense. Both of them, by the way, offensive ratings 115. All right, so the Bulls, that's what everybody would think. Oh, the Warriors' advantage would be the offense, but the Bulls had the same offensive ratings. So that's a wash. Defensively, the Bulls were the best in the league. Golden State was second best in the league, but the Bulls' rating, 101. Golden State's 104. Here's the difference, Nick, between 3 points in defensive rating. I want to make it plain for the viewers. That's the difference between Toronto, Utah, and Philadelphia. 3 good defensive teams this year. And the Lakers this year. Okay, that's the type of difference we're talking about with 3 defensive points in defensive rating. So that's how much better that Bulls team defensively was than that Warriors team defensively. 3 of the 4 best defenders in that series would play for the Bulls. Pippen, Rodman, and Jordan. All right? Then the Bulls had a much tougher road to go through. You like the Sixers in 83. I liked them too. But the Bulls could handle size. They beat Alonzo Mourning and Tim Hardaway, 2 Hall of Famers in the first round. They beat Patrick Ewing in the second round. They swept Shaq and Penny in the third round and then handled Shawn Kemp and Gary Payton in the finals. 4 great big men. At that time, Kemp was even a great big man. Let's see who the Warriors went through. The Warriors went through Dame Dollar, Damian Lillard in the first round. Okay. They went through Rudy Gobert and Gordon Hayward. Donovan Mitchell wasn't even in Utah at the time. 2 guys I know you love, Gordon Hayward and Rudy Gobert. Okay. The third round, they went through LaMarcus Aldridge and a 39-year-old Manu Ginobili. Kawhi got hurt in the first game. All right. Then they faced some real competition in the finals with Cleveland. All right. Not to mention the best player in the game in the series would obviously be with the Bulls, Michael Jordan. But not only the best player, the best clutch player. And Nick, this seals the deal. Jordan was obviously clutch. He's got the most game-winning buzzer beaters in NBA history with 9. Guess how many Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, and Klay Thompson have combined? 4. Durant's got 3 of them, and he hasn't hit one since 2012. Now, let me finish. Durant's got 3 of them, hadn't hit one since 2012. Okay? Steph has never hit one in the playoffs. 0 for 9. I would think these games might be close. And if they're close, I'm going with the guy that's more clutch than the rest of the whole team. Oh, and finally, while I was about the clutch thing, I'm going with the fact. Can I finish? I'm going with the facts.
Yeah.
All right. The Warriors, the Bulls never went 7 games with anybody. The Warriors, that entire team, every one of them has the experience of blowing a 3-1 lead. Durant in Oklahoma City blows a 3-1 lead to the Warriors in the conference finals, and then those same Warriors blow it to the Cavs. So objectively, I just stated a bunch of facts, not feelings, not suppositions, not opinions. Those are all facts.
Okay, one fact that was not a fact is that the Bulls never went 7. They went 7 twice against Reggie's Pacers and against Patrick's
in the finals.
They did go 7.
In the finals.
Okay, well, right, but KD didn't blow a 3-1 lead in the finals. You were talking about guys that blew 3-1 leads in the context of going 7 games. So KD didn't blow a 3-1 lead in the finals. So I know we say these things, it's just not true. But my only question would be this. If the 96 Bulls are the greatest team ever, the 96 Sonics got to be like top 10, right? Because they took them 6, and Game 6 was close. So
that's not how you measure things, Nick. You know that? That's not how you measure things.
What do you mean?
In 2014.
What do you mean?
In 2014. Wait, okay, I'm gonna tell you how. No, you asked me a question. I'm gonna tell you what I mean. Yeah. In 2014, that Spurs team that ran roughshod over the Miami Heat and LeBron and Wade and Bosh, they went 7 games with the 8th-seeded Dallas Mavericks in the first round. Does that mean that Mavericks team that won 3 off of them was better than the Heat? Was one of the greatest teams? No. Does it mean Atlanta, that took the Celtics in 2008 to 7 games, was a great team? Nick, come on. You don't measure how great a team is because they won a couple of games in a series.
Brew.
Stop it.
What do you no? But Brew, what you always say when we're talking about the greatest players ever. When we're talking about the greatest hold on a second. What you always say when we're talking about the greatest players ever is you have to parse. You have to nitpick. That when we're talking about right? You say that. When we're talking about the greatest players ever, we have to pick, we have to, find little mini flaws. We must do the same thing with the greatest team ever. There are two teams that in the regular season, that have the roster to be in the argument, have the regular season to be in the argument, and in the most critical moments in the postseason, faced no adversity. The 83 Sixers and the 2017 Warriors. Every other team on the list had a moment where it looked like they might not win the title. Yes.
In 96?
A tied second half in Game 6.
When they were up 3-0?
A tied second half of Game 6 of the finals, but they didn't finish it. They didn't finish the job, buddy, to be the greatest team ever.
Last Dance?
Sorry.
When Jordan laughed, when Jordan was and laughed.
Yeah, again.
Let me read this.
Of course, I'm shocked.
That's what I'm doing.
This
I'm
ended on Jordan.
Stop it.
I'm shocked that one.
Nick, they were 72-10 in the champions.
You want to talk about matchups and schemes? We can do that too. First question, what the hell are you going to do with Jordan? Once he'd reached this height of his powers, he was virtually unstoppable. Gary Payton had his moment against Jordan in the finals. And okay, let's say you do somehow slow down the best scorer to ever play basketball. Scottie Pippen was practically designed to pick up the slack and adjust on the fly. You cannot stop both, and Scottie is going to make you pay not just by himself, but by involving the rest of the team and acting as the new distribution hub of the offense. Nobody ran the triangle better than the Bulls, which meant that every player had to stay ready for their moment. The ball moved around, everybody got a chance, shooters consistently got clean looks, and it would only make it easier for everyone else if the opponent focuses too much on Michael. Kukoc was a killer. Steve Kerr didn't miss. And even Mike himself was shooting over 40% from 3 this year. The role players fit perfectly alongside the stars, and the result is an offense that was built to counter opposing strategies. And the defense? At their position. The Bulls had 3 of those 5 players. Plus, with Kukoc able to play in big lineups and Ron Harper standing 6'6", the Bulls can switch practically everything and offer an endless amount of versatility. And despite their lack of premium centers, the Bulls were a top 4 team in rebounding thanks to, the best rebounder in the league. A precision offense with the sharpest of spearheads. A defensive squad that rivals any lineup in history, and the versatility and switchability that modern teams would drool over.
Can you imagine what Dennis Rodman would have done to Draymond Green? Yeah. This is the same Dennis Rodman that wore a dress. Yes. Dennis Rodman that will put on lipstick and that will grab your butt during a free throw. Do you think that Draymond Green is going to make it through the first quarter before getting too technicals? Where to be considered the greatest of all time, you actually have to be the greatest of all time. Not just because you think it. This is Real Talk. Until next time, we're going to keep it real. We're going to keep sports. We're going to keep everything talking. Holla at me. Real Talk with Kingsley over there. Until next time.